This news update is brought to you by...
Don't you deserve a little me time? Play catch up and binge watch full seasons of your favorite TV shows, available on video on demand from Flow. Simply press the VOD button on your Flow remote. This is how we do TV. This is how we flow.
It's Friday, January the 29th, 2016, and this is your Barbados Today morning news update. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. In our top story, the chairman of the Barbados Tourism Marketing Inc, Alvin Jemmett, is warning of a serious backlash to the island's critical tourism industry if today's planned industrial action at the Grantley Adams International Airport over back pay is not nipped in the bud. Jemmett says the country cannot afford any disruption in tourism, which has performed impressively during the past year.
I hope for the absolute best. We as a country can't afford it at this time. I think we've had too much of a good year in this business to have any type of disruption. And I am hopeful and will be very pleased if the best result is found.
Hundreds of airport staff from all categories are expected to down tools and take up placards around noon and gather in the car park for a few hours before returning to their jobs. Reliable sources tell Barbados Today the protest is only phase one of a possible escalation if the management of the airport does not honor the demands of the National Union of Public Workers to pay the 3.5% increase in wages dating back to 2010. Government's proposed $250 million cane industry restructuring project is in danger of collapsing as a major partner has threatened to pull out of the venture. Inter-Sugar Partnership, the company appointed by government in February 2015 to facilitate external financing for the project, made it clear yesterday that it will stop further funding of the multi-purpose sugar factory at Andrews St. Joseph, a key component of the project, if the Frondale Stewart administration did not meet certain obligations by the end of June. Director of ISP, Edward Marston, claimed that government was to infuse millions of dollars as partial equity and to grant a number of concessions, but had done little because the project was not a priority. Marston warned that unless things change within the next 3 to 6 months, his company would stop investing its money in consultancies and preparing for the old Andrews Sugar Factory site, where construction of the new state-of-the-art plant was expected to begin next year.
Unless the government honors its obligations, which include financial obligations running into several billions, it will not be possible to secure the external finance which is necessary to enable the construction of the new factory to commence.
Former parliamentarian Hamilton Hamila Lashley says he feels sorry for former opposition Barbados Labour Party MP Dr. Maria Eargard, who he says recently suffered a rude awakening at the hands of her own political party. In the same vein, Lashley has described the return of William Duguay to the political arena as a masterstroke by the BLP, even though he believes the best choice for candidate for the Southern riding would be businessman Tan Abed, who ran in the last election as an independent against Dr. Eargard and attorney-at-law Verla de Pisa of the ruling Democratic Labour Party. On that occasion, Dr. Eargard, a first-timer, claimed the seat. However, following her expulsion from the BLP on November the 22nd and her bout with an undisclosed illness, which has sidelined her since the start of the year, Lashley contended it must be tough for the sitting member of Parliament. Christians from across all denominational backgrounds in Barbados are expected to take to the streets in their thousands this weekend as a part of their year-long Barbados Jubilee celebrations. The mega walk will start tomorrow from Jubilee Gardens in the city at 4:30 p.m. and move along Cheapside, then on to Fontebelle, President Kennedy Drive, Westbury Road, ending at New Dimensions Ministries on Barbary Hill, St. Michael. The worship celebration will begin at 6 p.m. In sports, the battle for supremacy went right down to the wire, and in the end, it was Red House who pipped Yellow House by 3.5 points to win Bay Primary's inter-house sports held at the school yesterday. Red House were on a mission to dethrone Yellow House, and they succeeded with much effort while tallying 416 points to Yellow House's 413.50. Blue House finished third with 410 points, and Green House were fourth with 363.50. The fact that Yellow House were unable to field an under 9 4x100 relay team might have cost them the chance of repeating as champions. Despite that, they had many reasons to smile, and Amir Gustav was one of them. He is without doubt the fastest boy at Bay Primary, and yesterday he won the under 13 100 meters, 200, 400, 800 and cricket ball throw to end his final year at the school on a high with 48 points and the Victor Ludorum Trophy. The under 13 girls division was so close, organizers needed a photo finish to decide who topped that age group. But in the end, it was a tie for Victrix Ludorum between Xiomara Ains of Blue House and Danica Rochford of Green House with 40 points.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Secure your future, be financially strong. Since 1983, we have been there for you. A smart range of products, great tax benefits. We're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. Humble beginnings to smart loans, smart savings. Save smart and borrow smarter, that's the move for me. Stability, prosperity, we're the solution to your hopes and your dreams. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union. The Barbados Workers Union Cooperative Credit Union.
Turning now to news from the region, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service has come in for a knock-in in Transparency International's 2015 Corruption Perception Index report. The unflattering analysis shows that the drug trade is a major concern, while corruption has infiltrated the police force. Public Relations Officer of the Police Service, Acting Senior Superintendent Michael Pierre, addressed the findings at a weekly news briefing in Port-au-Spain yesterday.
What I can say is that every evidence that comes to hand where our members of the police service are engaged in any form of corruption, adverse activity, breaking of the law, it will be investigated and they will be charged as long as that evidence gives the opportunity to place that person before the court. Therefore, I will not dispute the information that may be given. However, what I can tell you is that the police service will not sit back and allow that to overpower our Trinidad and Tobago police service.
Health authorities in Antigua and Barbuda will be stepping up mosquito control measures to keep the rapidly spreading Zika virus at bay. The action plan came out of an emergency conference involving health and tourism officials.
During the gathering, Minister of Health Malwin Joseph announced several initiatives to combat mosquito infestation. Among them are increased fogging, the removal of unused vehicles from the country's landscape, and closer collaboration with hotels to ensure that the correct vector control procedures are being used. He also said there'll be inspections of all septic and sewage tanks at government schools, institutions, and clinics to ensure that they do not pose a risk for breeding mosquitoes. Minister Joseph says although keen attention is being paid to every nook and cranny which could be possible breeding sites for the Aedes aegypti mosquito in particular, all other mosquitoes are still being targeted in this intense vector control exercise.
And finally, on the international scene, the U.S. now believes North Korea might have attempted to test components of a hydrogen bomb on January the 6th, after further review and analysis of the latest intelligence information. A U.S. official directly familiar with the latest U.S. assessment said there may have been a partial failed test of some type of components associated with the hydrogen bomb. Here's CNN's Barbara Starr.
They now are looking at the notion it was very deep underground, 2 times more than they expected. That is consistent with some kind of hydrogen device. But the key here is, while the North Koreans claim it was a hydrogen bomb, the U.S. isn't so sure. They believe it is possible the North Koreans tested some kind of component related to a hydrogen bomb, not a full-on device. Nonetheless, extremely concerning, because this does put North Korea on a path that is a real leap ahead in their weapons of mass destruction.
And on that note, we end our Barbados Today morning news update. However, you can join us again this afternoon. Until then, remember to log on to www.barbadostoday.bb, subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. You can also catch us on Izumi Media in bus terminals or screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Also tune into channel 101 on Floor TV and Mix 96.9 FM to get all the latest news and sports. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.